Yeah, we're live.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another live of Sports Intellect, and we are back. And I'm joined here by Jaren and April. Welcome, guys, to this live. And
Hi, Frankie.
so
Hey
today
Sankey,
we are
good to
actually
be
going to
here.
talk about, huh? Yeah,
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 you can go
we
yeah,
are
ahead.
audible.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Today we're actually going to talk about the who is going to be India's next red ball captain. So there are many options available here, but there are many cons as well. Like if you're going to go for a Rohit Sharma, like he has never even been like never people have never even thought of him as a red ball captain. And KL Rahul, people are not a big fan of his captaincy in any format of the game right now. And talking about Rishabh Pant, he could be he's a really young captain, and I don't know if someone's going to look on him as a captain. And talking about Ashwin, but how much years is Ashwin going to give you as a captain, even if you make him a captain of the Indian red ball format? So, Jaren, if you want to talk about who is going to be the next red ball captain on your, so you could start.
I think Sankey, it's a big mess. Virat Kohli left probably at the worst possible time. If when we require a captain just as soon as we are entering, and none of the captains have, inevitability about them. Like when we had MS Dhoni leave, we certainly knew for a year and a half that Virat Kohli is replacing him as a captain, and it was in works, it was going on, the process was on. But when Virat Kohli leaving, it's abrupt and it's all of a sudden, and almost everyone except for maybe the ballers, like there's names of Jasprit Bumrah that's coming up and Ashwin that's coming up as he spoke. But aside from the ballers, if you look at it, everyone else has been in and out of the test team. KL Rahul just joined the test team. Rohit Sharma has just started playing. He's obviously had the injury issues, but aside from that, it's difficult at this point in time whom to go with. I think at this point in time, it's much more of a coin toss as much as it is going with the gut. So for me, I think I've been a big fan of Ashwin, and I'll be honest, I think Ashwin's a very good tactician. An issue with him is he can be quite aggressive, but that might play into his hands. And he's a very underrated option for captaincy as well,
Yeah, very
True,
true.
because
true.
he is someone who is very much a thinker in the game. A lot of cricketers have appreciated his thinking skills. So I really see Ashwin as a captain for Indian team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point actually, to be honest.
Yeah, true. But how much years is he going to give you, Ashwin, as a captain?
I would say why I wouldn't prefer Ashwin. I'll carry forward from where Jaren left off. See, there are two things with Ashwin right now. Looking at his age, he's been a clear candidate of getting injured every now and then, right? So this brings him to a stage where he cannot be captaining every match. And let's talk about his place in the 11. When it comes to overseas matches, he's someone who has been probably, I would say, not a prey. I would say a player who has been used as horses for courses. You've seen in England, he did not get a match to play. Maybe in pitches where it does not suit him, he might not be used even as he might not be even your player in the starting 11. So that's where I feel Ashwin's chances goes a little back, and secondly his fitness as well. For me, Ashwin can be used if at all Rohit Sharma is not, standing with selectors saying that I do not want to captain, or KL Rahul they see as not a good option. Then I would say the next big pick is Ashwin, because I don't see Jasprit Bumrah in the same category as well because of same reasons. He's a fast bowler. Jasprit Bumrah has just played two matches in India, and in India the preferred pacers are Mohammad Shami and Umesh Yadav because of their ability to do reverse swing, and also workload management comes into play where Jasprit Bumrah is made the captain. So that's where I feel Ashwin can be used as a third pick, but my first pick would be Rohit Sharma, and I would tell the reason why in the as the show progresses.
Yeah, okay, strong point. Yeah. So, any other options? Like, what do you think about Rishabh Pant becoming the captain of the red ball format?
I think Rishabh Pant is an interesting story actually. This is one story, and this is not something that at all has any effect. But I remember Rishabh Pant when he came up initially as an under 19 player. He was an incredible player for Delhi, and he played really well. Then the Delhi team picked him up, made him the captain, and his career went downhill from there. And the same is sort of happening in IPL right now. I mean, we wouldn't say that he's had a bad year in the IPL, but it's not in his best. So now putting him as the Indian Test captain at an age which is still quite young. Yes, of course, if you think about it, if you look at the three if you look at KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, and Rohit Sharma, he's been the most consistent member in the Test team, and that kind of gives him an edge in that terms. But I still feel Rishabh Pant has a long way to go for captaincy, because there's his stance in the team is still a lot more as a youngster. He needs to go a long way. So in that terms, I don't prefer Rishabh Pant yet. In the future, definitely yes, he has shown instances of brilliance as the captain. He is a good leader, but it's still a work in progress for me.
Yeah, definitely. No, for me, I personally think that Rishabh Pant can be a leader who can be mentored right now. If Rohit Sharma or Ashwin is taking over the reins of Indian team, they could probably mentor Rishabh Pant in the next 2 seasons and see where it goes from there on. Because at this point, he's still in the growing stage in Test cricket. We are still, a lot of people are talking about his short selections, especially when it comes to Test cricket, where he has thrown up the wicket. If you look at the last one day he played against South Africa, he threw away his wicket. So the maturity comes into play as well. Can he be a mature player? But one thing I've noticed about Rishabh Pant in IPL is that when he was given the captaincy, he was playing with a lot more maturity. And even for Delhi, he looked. I saw him captain that one season in 2019, but he did a pretty good job. And if you look at his character, he's someone who motivates the player. When everything is dry and dead, that's where Rishabh Pant comes into play. He's such a chirpy character, and that's what you want in Test cricket, right? When the game is not flowing, the game is not going in your way.
Okay.
You want that spark. You want a leader who talks. You want a leader to really pump his voice up. That's why I feel he can be a future candidate for leadership, but not really right now. He needs to be mentored. He's still making his mark in Test cricket. Uh, that's why I feel Rohit Sharma. Jaren, I would really like to know what do you reckon about Rohit Sharma, both from Sankey and Jaren, because Rohit Sharma is a good candidate. I feel, in my opinion, I'm not saying because he's made his mark in Test cricket, but if you look at the last 1 year, he's been our best player in Test cricket in terms of batting.
If just to go by the quality of captaincy, Rohit Sharma is the number one pick for me as well.
Yeah,
He's got the best head on his shoulder in terms of captaincy in the team. He's shown his caliber in IPL as well. And I always felt he's been a better white ball captain than Virat Kohli, which might be a big
yeah,
statement to say, but I've always
no,
felt that. And Rohit Sharma,
absolutely
the
correct.
captain in red ball cricket, I haven't seen much of him, but then that's because we haven't seen Rohit Sharma, the red ball player, much. And we still are seeing this second version of him. He's come in and he's come out. He's gone out a lot. Injury issues have been another problem with Rohit Sharma, but I think he's probably the best pick at this moment, because we need someone who's done the job for India before, who knows the pressure, and obviously the only thing that stops me from making him the Test captain will be his consistency in the Test team itself. Like, he's not been a part of the Test setup for quite some time, and I feel it's not fair to bring someone from outside into the Test setup, but without any, I
Fine.
mean, it's the lack of any other option. In fact, the only reason why Rohit Sharma stands as an option is because we have someone like Ajinkya Rahane, for example, not performing as well. Like, the reason we're
Today
not
I even read an
talking about
interview where Mohammad Shami says, "I wouldn't mind the responsibility." I mean, for God's sake, I think they should stop this test captaincy conundrum and end it. Make someone the test captain, because now every player in the test level is saying, "What if I become the captain?" Let's end that,
and
and we can see that,
the best part
isn't
is
it?
it's possible. It's possible. Any random Joe can be a Test captain, because we are not just considering their Test form.
Yeah,
We're not considering the amount of Test innings they've done, and we're not at all even considering the captaincy that's possible. Right now, India is trying to save face, I think, because this is an extremely difficult situation where we don't
yeah,
know who our next captain is going to be, and we've never had such a situation for a long time in Indian cricket, where stability has been a kind of a hallmark for Indian cricket. So yeah, Mohammad Shafi coming out raising his hands is not a surprising thing. I've seen a lot of articles which tout Shreyas Iyer to be the next Test captain, and he's only played a match or two. So and you never know. So
you
you
never
never know
know.
who the selectors have in their mind.
Virat
But I think
Kohli becomes the test
it
captain again. That's the last
Guys,
who
one.
next
knows? Yeah,
news.
I mean,
Ravi
like,
Shastri
please
is the
just
test captain.
I
Yeah, Ravi
think
Shastri. Let's not be let's not go there, but yeah. But Sanky, you tell me about this. Who is in your opinion that test captain who can take India forward? I mean,
It's
at
kind
least
of
for short
you know,
goal.
it's kind of a messy thing right now, uh, as Jaran mentioned, because all these players we have mentioned now, all have their really like the pros and cons, but most of them have the cons. Like a lot of negatives there. You see, like Rishabh Pant, we're talking about the age factor, and then we have Rohit Sharma. We talk about like because he hasn't played much. What do you say, matches for India in the red ball format, and
Mm.
if he was a player from long ago, like I would still consider him as the red ball captain next after Virat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's not bad actually, right?
I think one thing that goes in favor of Rohit is the fact that Indian cricket teams always believed in single captain for all three formats as their
Yeah,
best possible option, and
yeah,
we might just fit. And it's not like Rohit Sharma is a complete unfit here. He definitely fits the boxes required. So I think that might be one huge reason why they go for him. Plus, KL Rahul is really reduced his probability with the performance that he's done in the last test. I mean, in the test that he was the captain and further in the
yeah.
ODIs as well. So his profile
Well,
is
I would blame the
reduced.
selectors for that because you can't blame him. Selectors, put that responsibility upon him when they know that he hasn't really even captained Karnataka even for one match in Ranji Trophy. Is limited over cricketing captaincy is absolutely zero. Just because he put in those performances in England. Before England series, he was not even part of the test team. The only series he played before England, if I remember, was back in West Indies in 2019. He was not part of the Indian test setup at all. Just because he started scoring runs, all of a sudden he's made the vice captain. But I wouldn't be surprised at a stage where they turn back to Ajitya Rahane, proven leader, won a series in Australia, is still unbeaten in Test cricket. They go to Rahane and be like, see, we know that your form is a concern, but we are giving you that Test captaincy. Lead us. We have seen that with a lot of teams where a player plays just because of his captaincy. And it's not like Rahane is such a bad player. He is a proven player. He has scored a lot of runs for India. He's played match-winning knocks for India just to be just to stabilize things, and he can offer Indian cricket with good 4 years as a captain. Probably he can lead India to many more glories, and that would be a great option. I don't mind Rahane being a captain at all because that's one name nobody's talking about because he is the best captain after Virat Kohli. If you look at it,
Yeah,
And plus,
Rahane can give you
and Sanky, go
4 more
ahead.
years, as you said. And
Hmm.
not only that, he's a proven captain. Like, yeah, as you said, he's unbeaten. And I think Rahane is the better option among all of them, even with
yeah,
his form concern, because you have seen players playing with, like, mainly because of their captaincies. So I guess Rahane should be actually looked upon in this captaincy selection,
yeah.
not not look past because of his form or something. I guess Rahane should be looked upon this.
Rahane has played some of the best knocks when he was made the captain, and he relishes playing as a captain. I would say. You never know. You could see a second version of Rahane. I personally feel, in my opinion, if there is no Rohit Sharma, even over Rohit Sharma, I would keep even Rahane. Rahane is such a vital option in Indian Test cricket. His place is still up for grabs. You cannot say Shreyas Iyer is the best proven candidate who can bat at number five in Test cricket because he has an issue with that short ball. Right, he's been struggling there. If you're kicking out Pujara, you can probably even make Rahane to bat at number three. Just go bat at number three. You might see a different kind of Rahane, like how Rohit Sharma changed his test career, opening the batting. Maybe these players have this psychological thing, right? They can't keep waiting. They think a lot. Player like Rahane is a confidence player. He tends to think a lot, and he plays best when he's not thinking a lot. He's just going with the flow. And I believe he should be made to bat at number three. And you never know, you might get to see the best of Rahane batting at number three. It's my personal opinion. If it works out, all the best for BCC and in cricket, I would say.
And Rahane has played good innings when he's been a captain, as you mentioned. And secondly, I think one thing that really goes for him here is the coach Rahul Dravid. He's worked extensively with Rahul Dravid in the
Yeah,
past. They know they have this connect that Rahul Dravid's not had with any of the other captains that are available for the picking. So I think that's one thing that goes for Ajinkya Rahane as well. And secondly, he's been part of the test setup. And I've always believed that for a captain to be chosen, he needs to be part of the setup for quite some time. You cannot pick someone from outside the setup because it takes time. The team then has to gel in, and it takes a longer time for adjust under the person's leadership. But with Rahane coming in, it's just going to be like fish to water. There's not much of a difference. And Rahane has done this especially in the past, and he has a very good. He has feather to his cap already with the Australian series, so it's not like he's a pushover.
Yeah, he's actually the best captain in India right now after Virat Kohli in Test cricket. So, if if Virat Kohli has moved off, it means Rahane is your best option. If you would have asked anybody 2 months ago, if Virat Kohli is not playing a match, who would be your captain? It would be definitely Rahane. There's no second choice, second doubts about that. But now you're talking about Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Ashwin Bumrah. I think Indian selectors should put a full stop on that debate for once and for all, because I personally felt it was affecting players' performance even in the one-day matches, because they are all of a sudden thinking, "Oh, what if I get the responsibility?" Journalists are asking these questions towards them. Even I told you about Shammi, right? Journalists are asking him, "Would you like to be Indian captain?" Why would he say no? Every cricketer who dreams to play for India wants to captain India at some stage. So they would definitely not say no. And that's the reason why you don't want to put that extra sort of ambition or extra sort of pressure on these players. Just let them be the way they are. Name a captain, get down with it, focus on this WTC cycle, which is so important. Sankey, you can take on. Yeah.
Yeah, if form was never a concern, Rahane is always the first choice. If form was never a concern, but yeah, right now his place in the 11 is a concern, and there are talks Shreyas Iyer is going to take over from his place in the team. So
Yeah.
obviously there is a problem in Rahane's spot in the playing 11. So that's why that is the main reason he might not be looked upon, but
Hmm.
he is the best choice for captaincy after Virat.
I mean, I
True.
reckon we can do a Tim Payne sort of model, where Tim Payne's not going to bat. He's going to just give you his 12 runs and do a decent job at captaincy. And Rahane can be a much better batsman and a
Definitely.
player than Tim Payne. So why not?
Yeah.
And
I
this
mean,
might be the
he has
reason,
that.
like,
Yeah, I mean, not a
the
bad
team
option. I
putting
mean,
faith in
it's.
him as a captain might be the reason he comes back to form. Because, as you said, he's a
Yeah.
confidence player, and that might be the only thing that is required.
Now let's come to that important topic as why do you think Virat would have given up on captaincy? Both of you. Because it's such
Yeah.
an abrupt time to give up on captaincy, isn't it? Okay, you lost a test series, which you probably should have won, but then that should not be a reason to give up on captaincy. I've seen many captains in Indian cricket lose a test series in South Africa. It's not like every captain has won a test series in South Africa. No test captain ever has won a test series in South Africa. So it shouldn't be that reason solely, right?
Yeah,
I
it
think,
might not be. Maybe
yes.
it's just to see the better of Virat, the batsman, and I hope to see Virat, the batsman, the next series. Actually, more of him in the next series, and maybe that's just a matter of time now. Maybe after all this quitting of captaincy, maybe we might just see the better of Virat as a batsman coming in and scoring like he used to before 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's playing his 100th
Well,
test match in a month.
That'll be
I
in
think
Chinnaswamy.
Yeah.
relating like relating Virat Kohli's leaving of Test captaincy to the the Test series will be as equivalent to as saying that MS Dhoni left his because of the Australian series. I think it was playing on his mind for quite some time.
Yeah.
He already has let go of two captaincy spots before. I mean,
Three,
the
including
RCB
RCB.
one and the
Yeah.
ODI one has a little murky setting
Okay,
to it.
yeah, I would
There's a
say,
lot of
yeah. Maybe
talk.
that's what triggered Virat Kohli to leave Test captaincy. I feel that.
So yeah, that's probably the point that even I was zoning in on. He's had
Yeah,
some tense relations with the board, and it's not been working out for him as well. And I think there's been a lot of talk about his captaincy and his batting for quite some time. And when we were speaking about Ajinkya Rahane's captaincy, the one thing that came back to me was when Ajinkya did so well in the Australian series, there was talk of replacing Ajinkya at that point in time and replacing Virat with Ajinkya at that particular point in time, like as you mentioned. So this has been an issue with Kohli, the fact that I think the board has not treated him as well as he would have liked, and I think that has played on his mind. Plus,
yeah,
obviously a reaction. There was a strong reaction to the South African series, especially the last Test series, where Kohli kind of did lose his temperament, and I think it's a combination of a lot of features we've seen Kohli not doing well in the past. And I think so. Sankey is right to a very good extent that I think he's trying to focus on his batting now and trying to
yeah.
play that one particular role and recede in the background a little bit so he can work on himself and his performance.
No, seeing Virat in that one day series actually shook me up because he was not that normal Virat at all. He was very calm. He was not on the face. I've seen Virat play as a normal player before he took over the captaincy reins. He was always on the face. All of a sudden, you're seeing a different version of Virat who has come in terms with himself. He's more like a monk on the field. Like, I would never have ever used the
I
word
mean,
monk with Virat, but now
it
it is
seemed like he
making me
was
use maybe
running away
except the
from the
incident with
spotlight.
Temba Bavuma. Other than that, he was
Yeah.
totally like a monk on the field. But yeah, it could probably, ignite Virat, the batsman, even more. He can focus much more on his batsmanship. He has not been in best of forms in Test cricket with the bat, except I would say that brilliant innings of 79 which he had in that match in Cape Town, which he looked in absolute control. If he would have had partners, we would have probably seen that 71st hundred from him, and everyone would be hoping that he will score the 71st hundred in the 100th match of his. Everybody is waiting for the whole of. You never know. It could be the next week against in the one day series. People will want it faster than that. All the fans of Virat everyone is waiting for that. Now talking about Test captaincy, I thought Virat's greatest achievement as a Test captaincy would be that lead in England more than an Australian series because England was one area where we always struggled. If you look at the last 10 years, we've just won one series. It was in 2007 where Rahul Dravid was the captain. That also we won 1-0. And that series too, people could say it could have been 1-1, that decision where Srisha inside edged it. It could have gone either way, but I would say that 2-1 lead in England would be one of his greatest achievements. But other than that, the culture which he brought into Indian team, it's going to be a tough headache for anybody to continue because the culture of fast bowling, the culture of intensity throughout the 90 overs in each day, that is something which is going to be so hard for every captain to replace, isn't it? Because that's something which even Ashwin mentioned in his tribute post to Virat Kohli.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
talking about that, the culture that he brought, like I remember Wasim Jafar's tweet which said, in the past where India used to think of winning a match as an achievement of going outside, and now we feel sad like when we lose a test match outside
Yeah.
India.
It
See,
was,
that's a
for me,
difference
I
that
felt
we bring.
South Africa were so overjoyed by winning at home. I was like, it should be other way around, right? It's like you're winning at home, but it was for the first time you're feeling like, oh, we should have won the series. We started as favorites. Yes, Anki.
Yeah, obviously we started as favorites. Even I was expecting actually a washout. Actually, I thought we would just go there and get the 3-0 win, like with the squad we had and all that. I was just expecting that, and it's all, and suddenly we just lost track there.
Correct. Yeah, Jiren.
And
Tell me
I
about
think
that.
yeah, uh, one thing with Virat Kohli has always been the fact that he's never given up the fight. There's always this fight in him, and that's transferred to the team. Even ever since Kohli's taken over the captaincy, even the first match which he took over as a captain, we came close not only to drawing the test match but winning it almost before Kohli lost his wicket, and that's been India's trademark style. India's not It's never looked like India's visiting a place. India's always been able to put up a fight. India's never been rolled away as many of the other, like the trend in international cricket right now has been whichever team, however, goes to a foreign situation, they are not able to be themselves. But Indian team has never had the difficulty. Be it in
Yeah.
Australia, be it in England, be it in South Africa, we always looked like we could win. I'm not saying that the scoreline will always show or reflect it, but with Kohli there, we always felt like we could win, and we would win sessions and days on sometimes, and consistently too. So that's something that Kohli's brought into this team, and no other captain's ever done that. And I mean, I
Yeah.
am an MS Dhoni fan, but I have to give it to Kohli because he's been our best Test captain, especially when it comes to the mentality of playing Test cricket.
Okay, we've got a question which says that more people are waiting for Virat 71 than their 69. Okay, I know where the question is intended towards, but yeah, man, I mean, I absolutely agree with you on that. It's absolutely true. And he's speaking out facts over the thanks, Wasim, for that question. It was a good question, actually. And it is a good thought which you have put in. So now going forward, let me know what has been that one point where you felt like Rohit Sharma can take over as Test captain. Is it because of it? Is it because I feel there should be one captain theory in Indian cricket, which even MS Dhoni came out saying, a decade ago, there should be just one captain theory. That's what works best for Indian cricket. Or do you reckon split captaincy could have worked in better way as well in Indian cricket? Tell me your thoughts. Because in England, you have seen that split captaincy is there, but You're seeing one format suffer because of the other.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
in India, the cricket captain is more of a face than just the job. And that's always how it's been. So it's always been Ganguly's team or Dhoni's team. And that's how we always refer to them as well, even though there are greater or bigger legends within that team. So that is the reason why I feel, yeah, one captain job is how it always works. But international cricket has gone and evolved much more. And ever since Dhoni has left the cricket, now if you think about it, I think if you look at international cricket now, it is more of horses for courses. And in that fashion, I've always felt split captaincy. As long as each captain is specialized in their job, it has to be that way. So the best captain available in the format should take up the job.
Okay. No, that's a fair point. Thank you. What do you reckon about the same thing, you know?
yeah, actually, maybe one captain for all the formats of the game. That might be the point there, maybe of making maybe a possible chance of Rohit Sharma becoming the captain, and obviously Rahane was the option left, and because of Rahane's inconsistency in the team, maybe just because of that, now Rohit Sharma has the upper hand.
Yeah. Yes, and carry on.
Yeah, like another reason, like the reason why we look at Rohit Sharma as a I mean, why we look at split captaincy nowadays even more than before is because the number of matches that is being played. You cannot
Yeah.
expect a particular person to play all the formats because you're playing so many matches. If you look at
Yeah.
it, right now India is
That's include
already
IPL as
planning
well
for
in
its
it.
next tours. Yes,
Yeah.
including the IPL, and especially in Indian team captain was definitely going to captain, more probably going to captain an IPL team as well. You look at the IPL captains, and if you think about it, almost all the captains are not. I mean, most of the players are consistent players for Indian team, so they have
Hmm.
that responsibility as well. So it is difficult for one particular person to keep going, and that's probably the reason why Virat Kohli again let go of his captaincies because he felt maybe it was
Yeah.
too much of a burden where he had to end up and he had to come up for each and every format and each and every series that was being held. Now he can take his rest. He can go back to his family. He's had a daughter come in as well, and I think that's an added responsibility. So probably one aspect to why he's left the captaincy this year.
Yeah. 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 True. Could be. Yes, Sankey.
Yeah, that could be one of the reasons. Obviously, a father's job is more than obviously a cricketer's. Then obviously, so do you guys want to talk about the inclusion of Deepak Hooda in the team, or do you think about Shah Rukh Khan as an option, like instead of the Deepak Hooda? What do you reckon on having Shah Rukh Khan actually? Couldn't have he been a better choice than Deepak Hooda?
Yeah, that's a very good question which I've asked because yesterday during the live we did throw some light into this. But I personally feel the reason why Deepak Hooda has been included, as I mentioned yesterday, is because of that bowling option which Deepak Hooda provides. If Indian team is going with the philosophy we're playing five batters, Surya Kumar Yadav gets a go ahead of Deepak Hooda. But right now, what we need to look into is Deepak Hooda's ability to ball, even chip in with 3 to 4 overs. And Shah Rukh Khan is yet to prove himself with the ball. I've barely seen him ball even in domestic matches. I've seen him ball a little bit in TNPL. He balls medium pace, and at times I've even seen him chip in with some off spin. So he's still not sure as a bowler, but I would have loved to see Shah Rukh Khan in T20 internationals, even more than one day internationals. Shah Rukh Khan can be a good finisher in T20 internationals because if you can really groom him at number five, number six, he could be a fierce batsman because he reminds me of someone like a young Kyron Pollard, because he has a presence in the crease which ballers really worry off. And I remember that match where he finished off against Karnataka, the Vijay Hazare Trophy. No, it was not. It was a Sai
He,
Mustaqil Trophy.
no, it was Syed Mushtaq Ali. He finished it off with a
Yeah,
six in the last
yeah.
ball.
You need to be that mentally strong to finish matches like that. We've seen MS Dhoni do it. We've seen Kyron Pollard do it, and I'm seeing a budding player like Shah Rukh Khan now do it. If Shah Rukh can start bowling a lot more, nothing like it. He could be a definite pick in for Indian team in ODI and even in T20s.
If he starts bowling, he's a very dangerous asset. If you
Yeah,
keep him in the team, he's a big asset. Like you gotta play him every game. He's gonna provide for you. Like he's gonna provide you with runs. He's gonna get you some wickets. He's gonna get you some dot balls. So that's what a bowling all rounder can give you. So and what about Deepak Hooda? Like isn't he this? Like he's the same? But what do you think about the finishing that Deepak Hooda can give you?
Jen, you can take that.
Um, no, I think Evil, you're much more of an expert in this case. Yeah, you can go ahead.
No, you can go ahead for this. Not a big deal, man. Actually, nobody's
Well,
watching us
I
also.
mean,
Go
well,
ahead.
as far as I've seen of Deepak Huda, I'm not much of a domestic. I mean, I'm not much aware of the domestic scenario and how much he's doing right now. But he's got the talent definitely, and he's done it for Rajasthan as well. One thing with him is, of course, the fact that he gives much more with the ball than with the bat. His batting has been a bit here and there, and it still has to go a long way in comparison to Shah Rukh Khan. He's shown already what he can do, and I think temperament wise also I would go with Shah Rukh Khan as well. So yeah,
Yo,
and
whatever.
I'm sure
Deepak
you guys
Huda's
got him for
selection
the
makes me
prize.
chuckle because of one reason. Last night, Krunal Pandey's account got hacked on Twitter, okay? And he was posting this absolutely shocking tweets. And you know the relationship between Krunal Pandya and Deepak Huda, what happened in Baroda team. So I was like, is
Yeah,
it because the selection of Deepak Huda is going, he has gone drunk and started posting this? Because I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. And he has come out saying his account was hacked. But, the if you look at the scenario, the turn up of events, the chronology, you'll never know. But yeah, Deepak Huda is a good player. I feel he has done well over a consistent period of time in domestic cricket. That's why I felt his call up was a good one. Uh, Probably he's rewarded for his domestic performance. Shah Rukh Khan has proven himself in the last 2 seasons, but if he goes and does well in this IPL, Shah Rukh Khan is going to be in the Indian team. There's no doubt about it. But I would like to see him add the bowling skill. That's the only reason what is holding me back in selecting Shah Rukh Khan. Or else, even Rishi Dhawan. Rishi Dhawan is also someone who I would like to see perform well in this IPL. He was given his chance, I remember 2016, but he did not come good there. But now he looks like a much more improved cricketer. You saw the Harshal Patels, who even they even came back doing the way they did. Harshal Patel was also discarded for a long while, but then he went on to domestic cricket and proved himself, and now he is going to be a very big buy in IPL because many teams are looking out for him, and he also adds that value with the bat. Now he's also in the Indian team, so you never know. The careers can change now. The fitness and everything, everybody has a career till 36, 37. So Rishi Dhawan is 31, Shah Rukh Khan is very young. So these lads are the future of Indian cricket, especially limited overs cricket.
anything more to add on that? Or so,
Yeah,
you want to talk about football now?
yeah. What is up? What's up in football now?
Got some hot transfer now. We just got in like Adama Traore to Barcelona on loan
That's a big
until the
move
end of the.
actually because if you look, Adama Traore is a product of Barcelona, isn't it? He played for Barcelona in 2014 and all that. So he has now changed. He's developed himself. He's become big, not in terms of the player. Also with his body stature, he's become very big right now. So he's going to add value to Barcelona. But I don't know how will Xavi really use him because I don't see him being used in the striking front because he lacks finishing. I have not seen a player in Premier League who lacks finishing up front like Adam Traore. So in that regard, Adam Traore is not the option Barca would have really loved to have because Barca lacks finishing right now. And probably what he could probably bring in is a pace and maybe develop him into a right wing back kind of a role. Maybe that's where Adam Traore could be a you know, big buy for Barcelona. Right now, I feel him. I don't really see a need of Adam Traore in Barcelona. That's my honest opinion.
It's like you get into the Barcelona team. You are in the Spain. You will play for Spain. You
Yeah.
will start for Spain. That is a thing right now going on. You get into Barcelona. You will start for Spain.
Yeah, we will be coming with a football podcast tomorrow. Everybody, please do join. We'll be coming with some interesting ones, Jaren. Everybody will try to get back the entire crew of Sport Intellect on that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, crew.
Yes. So, having said that, we'll end the live here, guys. I think we've had a good chat. We've covered a lot of points. Thanks for joining, whoever joined. It was great talking to you. Watch us, subscribe, click the bell icon. So, we'll be going live every day so you can join us and interact with us. And send in the super chats if you have money as well. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.